What's the time? Uh, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, that seems about right. Ooh. Oh, whoops. Greetings, programs. Welcome back to the gamification. I know it's been another fortnight since I've done this. You know me and bad time management skills. There's a lot of news that I've accumulated over that time, though, so don't you worry if you actually pay attention to this channel. So let's get straight into it with the first segment I like to call New News. It's good news. Not always. Because there's a lot of news, I have to put on my handy dandy broken glasses. They're the only ones that don't reflect as much, so that's usually why I wear these. Alright, let's get into it. Number 1. Disney's new streaming service is called Disney Plus. New details were revealed by Collider.com. Disney's direct-to-consumer streaming service has an official name, Disney Plus. Disney chairman and CEO Bob Iger revealed the official name, logo, and new platform details that recently on the company earning call. Iger says the service is on track for a late 2019 release, which makes sense. This is parentheses, which makes sense since that's about when the remaining Netflix contracts come to an end, in parentheses. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so it's like, as soon as they get all their Marvel stuff from Netflix and whatever else is there, Star Wars and other properties, they can then, once those contracts are finished, they can all bring it to their service. Iger also confirmed new details about how the service will function. While we've known for a while that the service would incorporate Disney's core brands, Iger revealed that the content will live on 5 hubs within the service: Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar, and National Geographic. Per Vulture, each hub will serve as a micro-platform on the service, with customized designs and features for each of the brands. We're going to, quote, "We're going to super serve fans," Iger said. It's not a particularly original design, parentheses, that sounds more or less like a cable bundle, as Vulture's report notes, in parentheses, but it's a fine contrast to the algorithmic content categories employed on Netflix, Disney's big rival streaming service. Netflix users have long bemoaned how often films are buried or lost on their homepage, and the Disney Plus model promises the possibility of a superior user experience. Additionally, I can confirm the rumored Loki series, which will see Tom Hiddleston star as the fan favorite character originated in the MCU. He also announced the platform's second live-action series after Jon Favreau's The Mandalorian, a Rogue One prequel series focused on Diego Luna's Cassian Andor. Just a little backstory of that. So it'd be a lot more spy stuff because Cassian Andor is a spy for the rebellion. So he does all the dirty work. This could be going more into that crime underworld kind of I want to say genre, but it's more of a category that for this Star Wars time, like as well as the Mandalorian, that could be more, because that's centered on a lone gunslinger. He could be doing dirty deals or whatever as well. So it could be kind of in that class, I guess. Anyway, Cassian Andor was also a separatist. His family were separatists, and so it kind of stands to reason that that's why he joined the rebellion, because he doesn't like this new order and all that. Anyway, awesome. More series, especially new TV series for Star Wars, great. Anyway, back to the article. The launch may be a year away, but Disney's already got a whole bunch of content in development for the service. In addition to the Star Wars and Marvel series, the TV side is planning a series reimagining of the film's High Fidelity, starring do I need to go into that? No. And the Mighty Ducks, as well as an animated series set in the world of Monsters Inc. Pardon me. In the realm of film, Disney's lined up the Christmas comedy Noel, starring Anna Kendrick, a live-action adaptation of Lady and the Tramp. That was announced a long time ago, like early this year, I believe it was, and they said, yeah, that's one of the first things that's going on the Disney streaming service. Some Paper Magician, Stargirl, and Togo. Okay, just a whole lot of other stuff that they want to announce. Exact details on the price point. Iger previously said it was going to be less than Netflix. Launch date and other stuff, other information that Iger's promised. They'll have an event in April 2019. April. That makes me think of Celebration, but I don't think that maybe that would be D23. That makes more sense. But it's right around that Celebration time, which is strange. Star Wars Celebration. So it's strange that they're going to put it at that time as well. Alright, news number 2. Final Fantasy 15 DLC cancelled. Director Hajime Tabata leaves. Square Enix post $33 million loss. This is from GameSpot.com. In an unexpected announcement, Square Enix announced the cancellation of 3 of the 4 planned Final Fantasy 15 episode expansion packs, and also confirmed that the game director, Hajime Tabata, has left the company. Tabata's last day at Square Enix was October 31st. The cancelled Final Fantasy DLC episodes include Aranea, Luna Freya, Noctis, and the 4th one, Arden, remains in development and is scheduled to launch in March 2019. On a side note, they actually did put out a little teaser trailer for the Arden expansion, and it goes into the whole backstory of him and his brother and who won the right to be king or whatnot. And honestly, from what I saw from that teaser, the brother looks like a bit of a douche. Okay. The expansion packs were being developed by Luminous, the new Square Enix internal studio. I remember Tabata was being put in charge of that studio as well. However, that team will now focus on making a new AAA game, though it hasn't been announced yet. And there was also rumors going on about this. In an earnings report, Square Enix announced a major change to Luminous that resulted in an extraordinary loss amounting to $33 million. Wow. Until now, it wasn't known what that loss was related to, but it looks like it's connected to the DLC cancellation. In announcing his resignation, Tabata said, "I honestly believe that the reason we were able to get this far is because of all you loyal fans. I thank you from the bottom of my heart." Okay, as for what he'll do next, Tabata said he's starting his own company. Quote, "I have a project that I truly wish to solidify as my next challenge after Final Fantasy 15. For that reason, I have decided to leave my current position and start my own business in order to achieve my goal," he said. "From this day on, I will cheer on and support Square Enix and Luminous Productions together with all you fans. I would like to thank everyone who continues to support Final Fantasy 15 and those who have also supported myself personally," Tabata added. End quote. Also during the announcement event, Square Enix announced that the Final Fantasy 15's Comrade multiplayer will now be released as a standalone game, meaning that you don't need the base game to play it. There will be a further 10 new bosses, as well as more costumes and weapons in the standalone game. Final Fantasy 15 Multiplayer Comrades, as it's called, will launch on December 13 by itself. Those who already bought the Comrades expansion will get the new standalone edition for free. Yes! Also during the presentation, Square Enix announced a new cross-promotion with Final Fantasy 14 Online. An event called Adventure from Another World will be available inside Final Fantasy 15 on PS4, Xbox One, and PC starting December 12. Another announced as a short form anime called Final Fantasy 15 Episode Prologue is on the way. A teaser will be released on December 15, with the second one coming on January 10. I find that odd because the prologue for Final Fantasy 15 was King's Glaive Final Fantasy 15, which was that CG movie that they put out. And it had Luna in it, voiced by one of the Game of Thrones actors. Sean Bean was Noctis's dad, King Regis, and some other stuff. So that was kind of the prologue for Final Fantasy 15. I don't know why they're doing an anime. Maybe they're mixing it with that Brotherhood. Maybe like a prologue for the Brotherhood anime that they did for Final Fantasy 15. It was a bit of a promotion thing, backstories and whatnot. That was really interesting. But all this says, from what I understand, because of the financial loss that Luminous got hit with, they're like, oh, shit, we're losing too much money. Let's get rid of the DLCs that we had planned and finish the one that we've already got going. With Tabata leaving, which is a sad thing, but he seemed to be a kind of a guy that just fixed everyone else's problems, like especially with this Final Fantasy 15, which was originally Final Fantasy Versus 13. It was meant to be in the 13 universe, and production just fell apart, and no one really planned anything. They brought in Tabata, he fixed it up, he changed it to 15, and they went on and got it done. It was messy, but they got it done. Cross's Call, I think they had problems with that, but he directed that completely, from what I understand. That was a great game, and he did, and Type 0, I believe, didn't do as well as they wanted, or it wasn't critically well received, even though Tabata directed that as well. So, and he might have had a lot of problems with like producers and like executives and whatnot about what he wanted for his vision for his next projects or whatever the DLC was for the Final Fantasy 15. But it seems like they had an argument. He's going, you know what, I'm just going to do my own thing, and he's starting his own production company. So good for him. Good for Square Enix to go, even though it was like in a big announcement live stream thing. It was all a whole lot of bad news, really. It was good that they went, hey, fans, we're still trying to keep in touch with you. This is the problem. We're going to be a little bit more transparent with you, but, you know, Square Enix, they do whatever they want. Just trying to think of what I'm trying to say next. Let's try and clear the air a little bit. This is what's happening. This is what we got in the future now. Here we go. And that kind of brings me into news number 3. Square Enix thinking about ideas regarding Final Fantasy VII Remake's release. I got this from pushsquare.com because they kind of bring up a lot more rumor stuff that I discovered. Tetsuya Nomura, the legendary Square Enix producer, is about to start work on Final Fantasy VII Remake. And just wait a sec. Despite the game being announced and even demoed 3 years ago, the infamous industry veteran admitted during a closed event, as attended by Famitsu and translated by Ikematsu, that he's been focused on Kingdom Hearts 3, but is almost done with that title now. Quote, I'm thinking about ideas regarding the remake's release. I even spoke to producer Yoshinori Katase about it today, he said. All of us old-timers are considering various developments in regards to what accompanies the remake, like if we can manage to do something about the compilation of Final Fantasy VII titles too, but for the time being, please wait for 7's turn to come. I just want to see if we should read that stuff. Yeah, so the wording was strange. As he's saying, I'm thinking about ideas regarding the remake's release. All of the what accompanies the remake. So he's thinking about promotional stuff, I guess, and bundles, I guess. but it also made me think, what's going on with this game? It was like, have they even really like got a full like a even like a base down for this game? Because the problem, they had problems already with it where they demoed it, they had a CG trailer, they had a gameplay trailer, and they had the game was actually being developed by CC2, yeah, CyberConnect 2. But apparently Square Enix had problems with that and they said no, it wasn't good enough or something. Even though from what I saw, it looked actually really cool. It looked playable, looked fun. It kind of reminded me a lot of Cross's Call in the way the game, like the actual battle mechanics were being dealt out, which I don't have a problem with. That was a really good game, I thought. But apparently Square Enix didn't like that, and they said, no, scrap it, and we're going to take the development in-house. They're probably trying to build it on their Luminous Studio engine, even though they just took a huge hit in money. Weird. Anyway, yeah, it seems to be that they haven't really got a full plan, and this worries me because Nomura, what I just said previously, where Final Fantasy 15 like fell apart because they never really had a full production on this, and they keep switching people from the Kingdom Hearts team onto the Final Fantasy Versus team, and then back again, and now they're finally focusing on Kingdom Hearts 3. Maybe they'll transfer all those people after it's finished onto Final Fantasy 7 Remake, like they were meant to do back in Final Fantasy Versus 13/15 days. But then again, I could be wrong. There was another article just recently that popped up on Kotaku that mentioned that this quote was kind of taken the wrong way. And yes, the work is coming along nicely, and we'll see something. The fans will see something after Kingdom Hearts 3 has come out. So possibly E3, because Square Enix usually has their own kind of booth there, but they won't be showing it on Sony stage because Sony. Ooh, I'll wait for that because that's new news. Weird throat today. Almost got me. Yeah, so we'll either see an E3, maybe a PSX even, or obviously Tokyo Game Show in 2019. Oh, okay, so kind of bad news, I don't know, in this day and age it's a bit weird. News number 4. Strategy guide maker Prima Games is shutting down. This is from Polygon.com. I'm just going to say Prima because it's easy for me. Like, you know, like in Final Fantasy X, you collect Albed Primas. Anyway, Prima Games is closing its doors according to reports from publishers Lunch and EGM. The gaming strategy guide imprint of publishing company DK will end operations by spring 2019. An internal memo from DK CEO Ian Hudson announced the impending shutdown as reported by Publishers Weekly. Quote, during a long, extensive review, many new ways were explored to diversify Prima Games publishing, Hudson wrote. However, the dynamics for us of this fast-paced landscape have continued to prove difficult. This enormously dedicated team has made every effort to turn the business around, but challenging market conditions have unfortunately worked against them. Prima Games, which has offices in Roosevelt, California, as well as in New York City and Indianapolis, will begin the closure starting this month, I believe. Yeah, this month. EGM reports that Roosevelt will close first sometime in the coming weeks. New York will follow, while the Indianapolis location is expected to be the last to go, likely in March 2019. Yeah, so it's a sad day. I remember. I keep thinking piggyback games like these ones, but I think they're connected in some way as well. I'll just have to look. But yeah, it's a sad day when companies that like this kind of go and you don't get all this cool information and whatnot. Like you used to. Like game guides used to always help us back in the day, but now that everything's becoming more digital instead of analog, it makes sense. It's a shame, but it does happen. You know, these hardcover paperback type companies that rely on this stuff, and especially with DLCs and day one patches and stuff like that, it's hard to keep up with that stuff, especially in print form. You know. In hardcover form, analog form. So, sorry to see them go, but I guess that's how business is. You know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Okay. Okay, so, news number 5. Holy moly. This is going back to what we said with the Disney Plus before. Cassian Andor live action series announced. This is from StarWars.com now. Disney Chairman and CEO Bob Iger announced recently that Lucasfilm is in development on the second Star Wars live action series for Disney Plus, the company's new direct-to-consumer streaming service. The series, which will go into production next year, follows the adventures of rebel spy Cassian Andor during the formative years of the rebellion and prior to the events of Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Diego Luna will reprise the role of Andor. Quote, "I'm going back to the Star Wars universe. Going back to the Star Wars universe is very special for me," said Luna. "I have so many memories of the great work we did together and the relationships I made throughout the journey. We have a fantastic adventure ahead of us, and this new exciting fallout will give us a chance to explore this character more deeply." End quote. The rousing spy thriller will explore tales filled with espionage and daring missions to restore hope to the galaxy in a grip of a ruthless empire. A release date for the series has not been announced. So yeah. I'd say maybe 2020 if they're hoping. If the series is only going to production next year. For the spy stuff, it's great. Possibly we'll get to see more of the politics of the rebellion because they haven't really declared war officially on the Empire. So it's still building their forces and playing it safe. It's kind of like what they're doing now. In the recent canon of Star Wars, like in the Poe Dameron comics, the Resistance, and the Republic, and Navy, they kind of have dealings with the First Order, but they're aware of them. They have dealings with them, but they're not really allowed to fight them. And that's the same with the First Order. They're not allowed to fight the Resistance or the Republic, right? The New Republic. So sometimes they'll do like dirty things like no witnesses, like clear everyone out, and the only time they really declare war on the New Republic was in Episode 7 with the Starkiller base destroying the capital, the Republic capital, and that's kind of the same as we go back into. Like Rogue One was the first time they really the rebellion declared war on the Empire, and then they got the plans of the Death Star and whatnot. Anyway, so I'd like to see more of that stuff where Mon Mothma's trying to tread carefully between playing her role as a senator, but also sending people out to kind of help people that are being oppressed by the Empire and whatnot. That'd be really interesting to see. All right. News. Number 6? Wow! Sony is skipping E3 2019. This is from Jason Schreier at Kotaku.com. Sony is skipping next year's E3, ditching its traditional booth and press conference in a move that will have a significant negative impact on the video games industry annual trade show. The Entertainment Software Association, or ESA, the lobbyist group that runs E3, confirmed the news. That was on Thursday, I believe, as did Sony. Quote, As the industry evolves, Sony Interactive Entertainment continues to look for inventive opportunities to engage the community, said Sony in a statement. PlayStation fans mean the world to us, and we. That sounded really condescending. PlayStation fans mean the world to us, and we always want to innovate, think differently, and experiment with new ways to delight gamers. As a result, we have decided not to participate in E3 in 2019. We are exploring new and familiar ways to engage our community in 2019 and can't wait to share our plans with you. End quote. This is yet another blow to the annual Los Angeles trade show, which has seen multiple publishers drop out over the last few years. Electronic Arts now holds its own event in Hollywood in the days leading up to E3. Well, last year Microsoft rented out a theatre in LA Live. Yeah, that's weird. A few minutes away from the convention center where E3 takes place. Nintendo has spent the past 5 years eschewing traditional press conferences in favor of pre-recorded videos, Nintendo Direct. And with Sony gone, one of E3's other marquee press conferences will now also not be present in 2019. Sony... okay. Yeah, okay, so this kind of makes sense in a way, because what we've seen recently is they've skipped PSX this year, right? Because they're like, we haven't got a whole heap to show, maybe some indie stuff, but not a whole heap of the AAAs that we're expecting to be wowed, that they like to wow us with, I guess you could say. But they've shown those games off about 3 or 4 years in a row, and it seems like because these games are so huge, they're still in development, which therefore means if they show it off at E3 next year, because this is the time right now that companies start getting their presses ready for, like, their press events and whatnot, ready for E3. So it's the right time for Sony to make a decision on what they're going to do. And what I'm saying is, there's the big games that they do have, they've shown off many times, and they might still not release till late 2019 for a lot of them. Like, for example, Death Stranding, The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, they've shown off the last few years, or at PSX even, and even still we're just like waiting, going, geez, come on, where are they? What's going to happen? Days Gone is another example of a Sony exclusive. They've shown many times. It's been in development for over 5 years, I believe. Pardon me. And it's like they had to push development till January. Oh, well, it's been released in February, I believe. February 22nd. Tell me if I'm wrong about that, though, because I think they changed the release date to a bit earlier or a bit later. I think it's still like 28th now or something. Yeah, so they haven't got a lot of big games to wow us with, and that's what they like to do lately. They have the trailers, they go, hey, welcome to the show, here's our this is what we're happy to achieve, get ready for some good stuff, and then they just show a whole bunch of games, and then go, hey, how was that, guys? Hey, ready for more? And then they show us a few more, and then say, thanks, guys, good night. We don't need to say much, actions speak louder than words kind of situation, and it's worked for the last 3 or 4 years, but seeing as they don't have a lot, and they haven't really been supporting indies as much lately, which is strange, because like the first year or two of PlayStation 4, they really were into it, like, hey, we're supporting indies, and we're really going for it, we're all about the players, rah 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 rah. Yeah, and that hasn't been the case this last couple of years. Where like, here's the big AAA in-house games that we've been making, like Worldwide Studios, like with Dreams as well, Ghost of Tsushima, I believe, Sony Santa Monica with God of War. Yeah, so that was. It stands to reason they're like, let's take a break, let's build up our resources a bit more, and then show them again. Either at next year's PSX or the Paris Games Week or something like that in the future, you know. Yeah, so that makes sense. I'm not surprised, but it's going to leave a big kind of impact, I guess you could say, at E3 next year, where they're like Xbox might take over that whole day, or that whole Monday night or whatever it is, where they're like, "Hey, we don't have to compete with Sony this year. Let's get it out let's get as much press, get in front of the cameras, get in front of the review interviewers and stuff like that as much as possible. They could really take that show for all it's worth, really, if they tried." All right, I need a break from that. Alright, news number 7. Pedro Pascal to lead the Mandalorian series. Holy moly, this is from Variety.com. Pedro Pascal has been tapped to star in the Star Wars TV series The Mandalorian, which is expected to premiere on the Disney streaming service Disney Plus. Pascal's name has previously been rumored for the role, but sources say he was one of the many actors being considered. Now, insiders tell Variety that he's been offered the role and negotiations are underway, so it seems a little bit more serious, like pay and time and whatnot. Pascal is no stranger to the small screen, with star-making roles as Prince Oberyn in Game of Thrones, which was a great character. I really enjoyed him. And Javier Pina in Narcos. He has since been building a strong film resume with performances in Kingsman: Golden Circle, The Equalizer 2, the upcoming If Beale Street Could Talk. He recently finished filming the Netflix action pick Triple Frontier, as well as Wonder Woman 1984. I did not know he was in that, so that's really cool. Yeah, he's a great character. He's a great character actor, I should say. Physical enough as well, I believe. I'm not sure. From Golden Circle he was, and in Game of Thrones I remember him being a pretty physical actor, as well as a good on-screen presence. He's got charisma as well, which makes sense. If he is this character, the Mandalorian, in the show The Mandalorian, this lone gunslinger, I find it interesting. Because I haven't really seen. He was in the Kingsman: Golden Circle. He was kind of a gunslinger in that, which was interesting, but also weird as well, like strange for me. Anyway, this is my personal opinion. He just, I don't know, it threw me off, I guess. But that movie was just whole kind of wacko. Awesome though, because Mandalorian culture is a whole heap of different people, like nomads and whatnot. They all get together like under one banner in a sense, even though they have their own clans and whatnot. But having different races as well, like you have not just humans but other aliens can be Mandalorian as well. They're kind of like you can think of them as like Romani gypsies, if you don't know those other words. They're kind of like just a group of people traveling and that have no real home in a sense. But anyway, I'm rambling. This is great. I love to see him in that. Having him in Star Wars is going to be interesting but cool. We've seen another Latino actor with. Sorry, I can't believe I just forgot his name. Oh my god. Diego Luna, sorry. Jeez, that's embarrassing. With Diego Luna, he was great in that as well. He really kind of filled that role. So if Pedro Pascal can do it, then that's great. Okay, that's it for the news. Whoa, that was a long one. That took a long time. Alright, now we go on to the next 7, and I like to call... Yep, that's right. The crappy animation segment that I like to call What's on the Notice Board. Just a little few things that I like to drop in, go, hey, check this out, or possibly some reading or whatnot that I'd like you guys to have a look at. So first on the notice board, the latest Broly trailer from Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super has come out. That came out a few weeks ago. It's number 3, I believe it's called. It's the final trailer. And you finally see Vegeta in Super Saiyan God form. Not Super Saiyan Blue, which was like Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. This is the one from the first the Battle of the Gods movie that you see, where Goku got red hair but he was kind of skinnier. Now we see Vegeta in that as well. This movie actually looks to be fantastic. It actually has a full story thing. They're retconning a lot of stuff from Dragon Ball Z. Well, from the Broly movies that they had, then they're retconning that, and this is kind of like Broly's origin. And you see Bardock and Goku's mom and stuff like that, and Vegeta's dad and whatnot, King Vegeta and whatnot. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing that. Let me know what you guys think. Diablo Switch. Oh, sorry, Diablo 3 on Switch is better than last gen. So they had a conversation on Digital Foundry, and I got this from Eurogamer. So that's just a bit of reading. If you feel like it, have a look at it. I can't remember if I read it. I believe I have, but I forgot it. It's been a couple of weeks. Super Mario Party has a new Joy-Con bundle for $9.99 US, and so alone the game is $60, and the controls are $70 respectively. So I say with this bundle, it's actually really worth the money, and it's kind of like a lime green and fluoro yellow or something like that. I reckon that's really cool. And because Super Mario Party just came out this week as well, I think it's worth it. Detective Pikachu trailer with Ryan Reynolds. So he's voicing the Detective Pikachu. They're making it more of a live action with the CG Pokemon. It looks interesting. It's produced by Legendary Studios, and that made me kind of go, oh, okay, because unless I'm mistaken, Saban worked with Legendary to make the Power Rangers movie, and it was okay. It wasn't bad, but it was like, oh, okay. It was a little bit cringy as well. But when I saw this, personally, I thought, oh shit, this reminds me of Dragon Ball Evolution, the M. Night Shyamalan movie. And that's the last time I'll say that title, because I refuse to speak about it because it was so bad. Some people are on the fence about this. Some people are like, yeah, I can't wait. Other people are like, you know, ugh. Or they're like, I'm not sure if this is good or bad or both. So what do you guys think of the trailer? If you see the Detective Pikachu, if you see the Detective Pikachu trailer, got it out. Let me know in the comments or whatnot, or wherever you see my links. Let me know what you think. I really like to know, because I was just like, oh no, this can't be good. Alright. Rumors abound. PS5 dev kits are in the wild apparently. But the system's not due to 2020, like commercially. This is from Push Square. It's kind of an article. It's kind of an article where it's in the rumors as well. So because yeah, it's just like things that they've heard. So I'll read it. It's all kicking off. Sony has shocked us by announcing that it's not attending E3 2019 at all, and it's resulted in a slew of speculation about the PlayStation 5 and what's going on behind the scenes. Kotaku reports that, based on conversations it's had with developers across the industry, the Japanese giant's next generation console is not set to release until 2020. I'd like to attest that you can usually rely on Kotaku, especially Jason Schreier, to get into the nitty-gritty depths and find the rumors and those little teasers and whatnot. They're inside information from the industry. However, one Reddit rumor monger who was first to break the E3 2019 story reckons that PS5 development kits are already in the hands of studios, and it's a beast, apparently. This is supposed to be a separate Square Enix story, Oh, sorry. This is supported by a separate Square Enix story where an artist at Limitless Productions accidentally revealed that the team is working on a new IP for the next gen console. But that was also an article, like a press article before. Strange. Ruthenick Cookie, who appears to be enjoying his 5 minutes of fame, claims that the console was codenamed PSV, so Roman numerals for 5, and that there will be 2 PlayStation Experience style events next year. So I'm thinking Paris Games Week and PSX. One of which will take place in or it might just be PSX for the fans, and one of those financial press events where they just kind of, like they did with the PS4, I believe, where they just showed the system and had a couple of games show off the technical aspects, but they didn't really go into and price points and whatnot. But that was more for like the stockholders and whatnot. According to the so-called insider, the new console's controller will include a camera for improved virtual reality tracking. So they might be trying to improve their PSVR, or trying to get more of those into the wild. Of course, with Sony staying quiet, it's impossible to verify any of this information. It could be legit or it could be nonsense. This is from Push Square again. We believe that developers definitely do have access to PS5 development kits, and we also reckon the console will launch in 2020, but we're uncertain of whether that will be early in the year, like March, or the traditional pre-Christmas slot. So yeah, that story's going to keep popping up now and then, and you might hear it again from me. So there you go. If it's from what I was saying, possibly PSX, possibly Paris Games Week, or a financial press event that they'll show off the PlayStation 5, if they do. If these rumors are to be believed, and if Kotaku's anything to go by, then yeah, I'd say it's got a bit of water. It holds some water, I guess you could say. Alright, that's it for all the informational stuff. Now on to games out this week. Oh, there was a huge list last week, so I'd like you to go check that out as well. At GameSpot, I believe they have good lists there. Or Kotaku or other places. But this week, Sword Art Online last song. That's on PC. That was the Vita game, and that's just been ported over. Spyro Reignited Trilogy. A lot of people getting their hands on that already. And they're having a lot of fun with it apparently. That's on PS4 and Xbox One. Hitman 2 on PC, PS4 and Xbox One. Gris, Gris, on Nintendo Switch. The Sims 4 Seasons. As in not 4 seasons, as in The Sims 4 expansion called Seasons. PC and PS4. Swords and Soldiers 2 on PS4. Runner 3 on PS4, Final Fantasy 1332 and Lightning Returns has come to Xbox Games Pass. Games Pass. So if you like that series, I did not. I played Final Fantasy 13. I thought, nah, I'm done. Don't need the rest of it. I was waiting for Versus 13. I waited 10 years for that. Fallout 76 is out on Xbox One, PS4 and PC. I was going to play it with some friends, but due to other reasons, me not liking the beta much, and also just because it's not my kind of game. Kingdom Hearts is coming out, Days Gone's coming out, so many other games are coming out very, very soon, and I just can't afford it as well. And I can't afford it all. I just finished Red Dead 2, and I'm exhausted. The Long Journey Home on PS4. This War of Mine Stories, the last broadcast on PC. Trailblazers Nintendo Switch PS4. Super Hydro, as in Hydro and then RAH. Weird. On Nintendo Switch. Battlefield 5, Xbox One and PS4. Tin Boy on Nintendo Switch. I like the cover of that. I thought it looked cool. NHL 19 PS4 Xbox One, Hellgate London on PC, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu on the Nintendo Switch. Civilization 6 on the Nintendo Switch. Super Mario Party on the Switch. That's definitely one to go for. I've seen playthroughs already from other reviews and whatnot. Looks really fun. Looks very, very... but it's also a friend killer as well, as all Super Mario Party games are. Storm Boy the game on Xbox One. Whoo! That was a big one. That's a big week, or a big 2 weeks, I should say, of information coming out. If you have any questions, concerns, or other things, other opinions or whatnot you have about any of the topics that I've mentioned today, please let me know in the comments below, or email me at any of my links down here. Hit me up on my Twitter, Jackosaurus, of course, and join us at the Facebook group at the Gamification. Love to hear from you guys. I love to get around, maybe get some other people joining games with us. Anyway, that's it for me today, guys. Thanks again for sticking around for as long as you have. Jacko out. Wait, oh no, that's not my catch line. Let's try that again. And oh shit, now it goes. Oh no, that's bad. All right, that's it for me today, guys. Thanks for sticking around for as long as you have, and remember to keep on gaming. End of line.